Hello, YouTube family. How's everybody doing today? Dave, Smize Flies. Let me readjust my camera so you can actually sit in here tying and you wouldn't even know what the hell I was doing. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so there we are. We're nice and centered. I have already went and laid a bit of a thread bed. I'm going back up front because I've got some stuff I wanted to wrap the rest of that in right there. Just because, I don't know, I guess I'm fussy. And then we're going to go backwards. I'm going to get back to the back, or close to the back, probably about right here. And using some red floss, fly tying floss. I'm going to tie that in. Wait. Actually, I am going to tie that in, but got to do everything in the right order. This here is it's called Guala Blend. It's basically a micro glint tinsel type thing coming from Semper Fly, which you got to just love the colors they come up with. Like, I'm going to show this to you up close. Look how beautiful the colors are in that. I think I showed it in one of my other videos. I just can't get over how beautiful that is. So I'm going to cut a piece of this off. I don't know if I said it or not, but today I'm going to be doing what they call the back country, or the North Country spider. It's just a spider pattern. And these things are, from what I've just read about them, are very, very effective. And I decided that's what the video was going to be today. Stuff to use. I'm trying to stick with early season stuff, and this is a good thing to have. Early, late, mid, it doesn't matter, all through the season. Because, you know, there's spiders on the ground pretty much up in the winter. The winter, they think they retreat to underground to hide for a while. All right, so I'm going to just lay it right on top like this. You guys can't really see what I'm doing. I'm going to do a pinch wrap and get that in, and then I can move my big fingers out of the way so you can see what's up. Sorry about that. I know that probably gets boring seeing my big old hands up there, but at least you get to look at my pretty ring. Everybody compliments about that dang ring. That's hilarious. All right, and I'm going to stick to the top of the shaft on this, like right before it starts into the bend. That's where I'm going to stop, and I'm going to wrap back up again. And I'm going to go the whole way to the head because I'm trying to keep the body pretty even. There's not really much of a taper on these spiders. It seems to be pretty much a straight body, so I'm not even going to worry about a taper today, which that's odd for me. I'm always worried about a damn taper. But today we're going to just go without it. I'm going to wrap back to about halfway and then back forward again to make sure I've got it evened out. I like what I'm seeing now. I'm going to come backwards again to about my tie-in point, which is right there. Stick that in my material clip for a minute. And now I'm going to be tying in the floss. And the reason why I did that way, the last thing that you're going to wrap up the body or on any of your flies is the first thing you want to tie in, because it's just, that's going to make it the right order for you. I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap this back, and I'm going to wrap it forward both, but I want to pull some through to make sure I don't have to tag end. I don't want to tag end. I don't want to be trying to snip just a little tiny bit off. So that's why I went a little extra up front, because I knew that I was going to be coming back up across this, so I can make this build up to where basically it was all in an attempt to keep this body even without trying to break it down into scientific terms, which there's no science really in this boy's head. So we're going to come up. Try not to leave any of we want definite, close, tight, beautiful wraps. Even though we're going to be covering it, it's just something that I prefer to do. Like I said, I'm very picky about it, because the more time I spend on doing things the right way, the better my fly ends up looking, and I just find that to be very important these days. I used to not really care, but now that, you know, things have started changing for me, and the opportunities are abound for me, I'm just kind of trying to tie them as beautiful stuff that I can. So this I'm going to wrap up to about one hook eye behind the eye of the hook, and I'm going to start wrapping this. And this I want to do tight wraps with this as well, because this is your main body, and that's why I chose floss, because it'll lay flat. You know, it may not look like it when you're starting, but as you keep going up, it'll really start looking good. So you get nice tight wraps the whole way up, all the way. You're going to go all the way to where the thread stopped, which is, like I said, about one hook eye behind the main hook eye. You'll see why here in a few minutes. So I'm going to keep wrapping. I may even stop just a little bit shorter than that. I'm not positive. I have to look at things and judge it. Yeah, I think I'm going to take it all the way right to there. That's the perfect spot. And I will tie this in and give it a nice, I don't know, probably like 3 good wraps, which is plenty to hold it in place. And then I'll snip it out. I'm going to turn my vise over because I want it right up against the body. I don't want any pieces sticking off the sides. Now, you don't have to worry about all that when you're tying it. If you have a little bit sticking off, it's no big deal. You can take your lighter and burn it out if you want to, especially if you're tying for yourself, you know. You don't have to worry so much about it. I don't know why I'm worried about it, because I'm tying this for nobody. This is for you guys. And then I'm going to use, if I can get my darn hands on it, I'm going to have to come off this side. I see it kind of got a mind of its own. And I'm going to take this, and this is where we're going to make the loose wraps. So this is basically segmentation. So I'm going to spread them about 1 millimeter or so apart. Well, if it would stop slipping, that would be nice. There's another one. That's about how far you want them apart. I think you guys can see, and you got to keep a hold of it very tight, because about the time you let up on it, it just starts to try to jump on you. So this can be a little bit condemnable. You got to really hold it tight and make sure that you've got control of the microglint. I'm going to go there. I didn't like the way that one or the one before laid right, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to fix it. See what I mean? I'm being way too fussy for tying a fly that has really no purpose. And it just slipped on me again. The one thing I kept telling you about, don't let it get slippery on you. Well, that's my fault. There, it did it again and again. Oh, boy. All right, right there. Keep it tight. There we go. Tying it off is going to be fun too, because you got to make sure you're holding it tight when you're tying it. Any little bit of looseness, it's going to screw you right up. So I'm going to get a hold of it and get 1/2 wrap in, and I know I've got it tight. That's all that matters to me. I can finish it the rest of the way without any worries now. And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want a real bulky head when this is done. That's going to look really cool. And I think before I take any further steps, I'm going to go ahead and put some resin down. And I mean, this is going to be like a really small wrap, or a really small glob of dabbing, or Jesus, jumping a little tiny bit of UV resin. You don't want much at all. You don't need much. And I will go and I will dab it on in spots so I don't move the ribbing. Nope, that's a little bit too much. So squeeze this and suck it right back into the bottle. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and she's walking. And I'm going to go ahead and let that alone for a minute and let gravity do its thing and get it to go down around the other side. And then I'll cure it. Don't you love her? Say, don't you love her? She's walking out the door. Now this light, the reason why I'm taking so long, if I had my other light, I would have had it cured, a long time ago. Yeah, because it's like all you got to do is touch it with that light because of the 985 nanometers. I think this one's 975 or 965. So you got to take the extra time, and I like to wiggle it around. It's almost good to, if you do flashes at it, it really makes a difference. And I don't know why. I couldn't even begin to tell you why. It just does. There we go. I'm getting a nice cure. I want to touch it. Oh yeah, there's not even any stickiness. All right, nice and cured. Now, I couldn't find any of my partridge, but I'm not sure if I think I'm using grouse right now, to be honest with you, and that's what I'm going to use to make the part that's going to be the wet fly, or it's going to make it. It's going to make the. You'll see. I forget what it's even called. lick my fingers to pull it back because it'll make it stay back better. And what I did with the feathers, I preened all these back and left this here, and this is going to be my tie-in area. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to lay it down right about where I want it to be, and wrap it right there just like that. That's just what I wanted to see happen. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that worked out like it did. Sometimes that can be a contemptible little booger. Alright, you want to snip off your excess stuff up here because this has no use whatsoever right now. That's why I love these Flysmith scissors. I'm telling you, they're great. And you don't need much more than like 2 turns. Maybe 3. It depends on how things are going. And you want to try to keep this as straight as you can. And as you pull it up, you want to have your fingers moistened. You want to pull these fibers back. And then finish laying the wrap. And I am going to do 2. Continue to preen it back as best you can. There we go. Now they're all back. And I'm going to stop right about there. I'm going to get a hold of my thread and wrap it out around the stem there. Now that I got a nice good wrap on it, I'm going to go ahead and continue trying to do this here until I'm ready to snip it out, and then I'll fix the rest of it. Got a little bit of work to do to fix it up right. I don't know why it is that I always land, when I'm wrapping stuff, it always ends up being under the hook, so I have to turn my vise upside down to finish it off the right way. And then I'll grab it and I will preen back again until I've got it where I want it. And this is finishing it up. I will take this and I'll wrap back, and I might even make my head just a little bit longer so I'm grabbing a hold of those fibers to make sure they stay back, like you're almost as if you're tying in a wet fly. You know, I forget what they call that up front. I'm sorry, I don't have the technical name right at my tips of my tongue. But nonetheless, don't say maybe, I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up, I'm climbing in, and take it easy. Okay, there's that. And that, my friends, that's it. It'll look a lot better here in a minute because those fibers need to stand up, but I preened them back with wet fingertips, or with wet fingers and thumb, index finger and thumb, should I say. I got the nice wet finish going. There it is, finishing that up, giving it the old wiggle to make sure it's a nice tight knot, coming up in here and snipping it right tight. And then go ahead and pull these all out. I'm not going to pull them forward so much, but you want them sticking out some so you can, it looks like a spider. I mean, that's the whole reason we did all this. Take it easy. See, and I could have taken maybe a half wrap less and still achieved success, but that there is what a spider ends up looking like. I like to see it come back just a little bit, but sometimes when you're trying to get it to go back a little, it wants to go way back. I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks like a damn nice spider. That is going to be a fish-catching little machine. And I'm going to put a little dab of resin on the thread to make sure nothing comes unwrapped. This will go to one of my boys.